Ben Elton is, of course, a hugely successful author, as well as being behind TV legends like Blackadder and The Young Ones and my favourite, Upstart Crow. But he's going back to his roots this month with a return to stand-up comedy.
They are considering having a sort of state lottery to help fund the NHS. That's what they're going to do. I mean, why stop with a lottery? Why not have a bit of real gambling? You know, well, Mrs Jones, we'd like to remove the gallstone, but we'll have to wait to see how we get on in a 4:30 at Sandown Park. I mean, it is effort to embrace the old operating table, you know, card table. Halfway through the operation, have to play another hand to see if they'll sew you up or not. I need 3 aces to get the final stitch in. Love it.
Ahead of his stand-up tour, Ben Elton joins me now. Do you know what? That routine, you could just use it now.
Well,
still
it's
relevant.
Funny, isn't
really
it?
is,
Yeah,
Ben.
still got it after. I've still got all the hair. I must say, I'm a bit of that back. I must say.
So why now? Why go on tour now?
Well, I never felt I'd stopped. I mean, looking back,
you haven't.
Well, certainly I haven't stopped working, but. It has been 15 years since, I mean, apart from the odd charity gig, you know, do a lot for charity, but we won't talk about it because we don't like to. But, you know, apart from the occasional thing, I haven't toured for, well, certainly not with new material and a new show in 15 years. But I never felt I'd stopped doing it. It was just merely that I had stopped doing it. And I think in the long run, it was a circumstance of family life. We had children. I did do a tour in 2004-05 when they were quite little, and I was away for 3 or 4 months. And I missed them, and I missed family life, and I'm very lucky I didn't have to do that. I can write novels, and I can write sitcoms, and I can work at home and be a house husband. And effectively, that's what I've been for the last many a long year. But I've always missed stand-up, and Sophie, my wife, always gets annoyed because, you know, the telly's on. I go, oh, I wish I was back. I could skew with that. I could nail that. And you know, so now the nest is currently empty. I mean, these days, of course, the boomerangs.
Oh, they'll come back.
Who knows when they come
uni now,
flying
but they'll
back
come
past
back.
you. But currently, you know, I can more please myself a bit. And so said, now's the time. Why don't you go back on the road? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she wants me out of the house. And of course, it is exciting, as you know, after 15 years away from the road, you do miss the soft, gentle hum of a hotel minibar. Yeah. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
You time. Yeah. About you time. What can we expect?
Well, I don't know what. I mean, what can you talk about now, Lorraine? Because you can't say anything.
No, you can't make a joke.
That's what they all say. You can't say anything. How can I go? You can't. In fact, the only thing you can say is that you can't say anything. So
that's it.
It's going to be a very short show, isn't it? Of course, you can say things. It's about attitude, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of. I don't watch stand-up myself because, in a way, I'm just worried. I don't want someone else's take on life in my head, so I try and avoid it. But I am aware that there is this current idea that, oh, a PC world is making everything impossible. But I think it's a cake and eat it. I think comics are basically saying you can't say anything, and then saying all the things you can't say, and then getting an extra point for going, look how brave I am because I said them anyway.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, it's about attitude. I've always been a stand-up comic for the ideas I want to discuss, the thoughts I have. So. You know, in the long run, people used to ask me, back in the 80s, I can remember there was always this question, could you make jokes about anything? Could you make jokes about AIDS? And you go, well, not a bad joke, I hope, but of course the subject of AIDS shouldn't be beyond comedy because comedy is part of the human condition. Comedy is life. Possibly, the sense of humour is one of the things that makes humanity special, you know, although when you see a dolphin, as I've done occasionally in Australia, they seem to have a good sense of humour too. But hopefully none will be at my gigs. But so it's about what you have to say and the things you want to do. And for me, comedy is a medium for ideas. It's a way to develop your thinking. So there's plenty to talk about at the moment.
For goodness sake, the only thing is trying to keep up with it because it changes on a daily basis.
It certainly does. You know,
it's
they don't.
Bizarre.
It's funny. Nobody seems to have the right direction. Yet we have a prime minister now. You know, to say the prime minister lacks a moral compass is like saying the Flat Earth Society lacks an actual compass. I mean, we're sort of in a world sort of post-shame, post-principle, post-everything, and I think there'll be plenty to talk about. And I'm going to be on stage on what may or may not be Brexit night, what may or may not be election night. I mean, really, for somebody who used to sort of vaguely be known for a little bit of politics, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't really be coming back a better time. Frankly, Lorraine, I think the world needs me.
I think the world needs you.
I think it's time.
I really do.
I think it's time for me
Super Ben.
to put my pants over my tights and get out there and do a little bit of politics.
It's about time.
Thank you.
It's about time. It really is, and it's quite full on this tour, isn't it?
Oh, you know, once you go on the road, you get on with it. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, if somebody wants to get a ticket to see me, I need to be there. And you know, I can't play arenas and things, but you know, I'm thrilled to see that 38 years since my first stand-up gig in 81, I can still do a town hall, and if people want to come and see that, I'm going to do it. So yeah, I'm doing 80 gigs. From between now and Christmas.
But you look in really good shape. You've obviously been in training.
I'm not going to lie to you. You wouldn't trust anything else I said. Of course I'm looking good, for heaven's sake.
Of course you are.
It's very kind of
Can I
you.
say a thank you for giving me a mention in Identity Crisis?
More than a mention. You
more than a
dominated a couple of
mention.
chapters
It's fantastic.
as you forensically fillet a couple of strangely opinionated people.
It's really good.
Well, I'm very pleased.
They should make it into a TV series or a movie.
If you have any connections, maybe Piers could get me something. He seems very influential.
He's very influential.
Very.
I'll put it towards him.
I'm very proud of it. It's quite a difficult book to write because it's a collage of modern Britain, identity crisis, because here we are all talking about the country as if we're some kind of national community. You hear politicians talk about the British people are bored of it. Who are the British people? The British people are clearly fractured, and we're no longer so much a nation as a sort of archipelago of virtual identity groups, you know, people not identifying with their neighbours, but with people who are like them, be it sexuality or gender or football team or diet. A fascinating time to be a novelist and a playwright and a comedian. But your chapters were a joy to write because you are the heart of the nation, Lorraine. Let's
behave yourself. Behave yourself, and thank you for Upstart Crow. I love it. We need more. Get more. Once you've done your tour, will you sit down and write some more, please?
I would love to do it. David, I'm having dinner with David Mitchell tomorrow night, and I will pass.
Tell him he's got to do it.
To you.
It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And Ben's 66-day tour starts in Dublin.
Plus warm-ups, 80. But yeah, starts. I've got 10 warm-ups, and then Dublin, and then all points round this very fractured place we call the disunited kingdom and Ireland as well.
Indeed, yes.
I'm crossing the border, be it hard or soft.